Welcome to my presentation for EDE 4103. Teaching is being part of a football team. My presentation will capture my philosophy of teaching and learning, how theories support my philosophies, and what my philosophies will look like in practice. Before presenting my presentation and metaphor, I took part in a philosophy of education inventory, which assisted in creating my mind map that helped reveal who I am as a teacher, which also supported my principles and beliefs, that links together my metaphor that captures my image of a child. The purpose of the survey was to assist with unpacking the philosophies of education and which of the five I strongly resonate with. According to the survey, I strongly align with the progressive, followed closely by humanistic. The purpose of the mind map was to explore who I am as a teacher, encompassing my beliefs and principles with the survey results. Using my mind map and survey, I was able to create my metaphor and principles that support my philosophy of teaching, that capture my image of a child. Football is a fun team sport. In football, there are primary elements that are required to play, rules, tactics, and skills that are needed for different positions and situations. Players require certain skills and teamwork to achieve their goals, and these need to come together to play the game successfully. In football, the club have visions and goals that encapsulate their future aspirations who support coaches to deliver their sessions. As in schools, they have their own philosophies, aims and goals who support the teachers to deliver the curriculum to students and their needs. Coaches use their expertise to direct and deliver programs, passing on their knowledge and experience to players. And teachers use their own philosophy, teaching practices to personalize the curriculum for students and their learning abilities. Players bring in their individualism, skills, dispositions, ideas, and share these with others. And children do the same. Each child is unique with different ideas, skills, and dispositions that they share with others. Principle 1. Children are active and competent learners who learn through play. Football is a game that can be played indoor or outdoor. It has many players that need to play together to achieve their goals. Players need to interact and collaborate through play to achieve these outcomes. Players in a team are made up of a diverse range with different skills, attitudes, athleticism, teamwork, creativity, and artistry. A theorist that aligns with this is John Dewey, where he suggests learners learn from others, and education is a learning process. Learning by doing in a group or democracy was his ideology. This coincides with my philosophy as it allows students to be active participants in their learning. John Dewey's progressive education approach to education is based on the interaction between the human being and the world, and how the need to learn by doing. Experience and interaction is the central key of his theory, together with cultural and social aspects. These ideas remain fundamentally important in contemporary schooling today. This can be seen by students and teachers interacting with the environment in order to adapt and learn. Some key points according to Dewey are the importance of teachers and students collaborating together to learn. It emphasizes on learning on the interests and needs of the students. Children can explore the environment. Students are able to freely move in their environments to construct their own paths for acquiring and applying knowledge. The importance of context in education and learning in a group or community. Lev Vygotsky also emphasized social interaction. Social interaction has a fundamental role in the development of cognition. Learning and social context were interdependent, and he also states that cognitive development stems from social interactions from guided learning within the zone of proximal development as children and their partners co-construct knowledge. Through play, Children can develop their social skills, enhance creativity, develop a positive sense of self, sense of belonging, build resilience, enhances and recognizes their skills and disposition, and enhance physical motor development. So how does this relate to my metaphor? As teachers, support and create play-based learning environments that will engage and motivate students' interests and skills, and build positive group environments to encourage and foster group participation to enhance students to take initiative. Coaches can also create the environment where the players can grow, collaborate, and use their skills through play. Players and coaches through play have fun and encourage and motivate to learn from each other to achieve their goals. Principle 2. Children learn best in safe and secure learning environments. Establishing a safe, secure learning environment that has stemmed from prior interactions, observations, shared conversations with families and colleagues will enable responsive teachers to actively use their teaching strategies to set up innovative learning environments that guide and engage children's holistic learning and development. Teachers need to provide inclusive environments that value diverse abilities, social and cultural backgrounds, that are inviting as well as engaging that provide opportunities for students to demonstrate their knowledge, skills and dispositions. Safe and secure environments that promote play, challenge thinking and foster independence as well as collaborations and interactions between peers and their teachers. This principle is supported by the Reggio Emilia approach, as they emphasize that the environment plays a central role in the process of making learning meaningful. Hence, Loris Malaguzzi defined the environment as the third teacher, a flexible environment that is responsive to the needs and interests of the children, fostering children's thinking, curiosities as they explore in their environment. Maria Montessori also supported this principle. Her ideologies led to create learning environments that were suited for the children, changing and adapting the environment to child-sized furniture. For example, tables and chairs, and furniture that children can move easily. The importance of the well-prepared, safe environment to facilitate learning. Environments that are clean, have order and beauty, with plenty of open space for children to move easily and comfortably. How does Principle 2 link to my metaphor? In football, players need to be safe and secure in their playing environments to try new technique skills on the pitch. If the field is not up to scratch, then it exposes the players to injuries. This is the same in the classroom environment. Children need to feel safe, secure in the environment to be able to explore and move around the room to try new experiences. Therefore, it is important to create an environment where children can build confidence and independence to build on their prior knowledges and skills. Enabling children to facilitate learning, foster social behaviours and assist with allowing them to feel empowered to make choices for themselves. If a child doesn't feel safe and secure, it would only hinder their confidence and their eagerness to participate. Implementing Principle 2. Children learn best in safe and secure learning environment. An environment needs to be provided that is welcoming, safe, nurturing to promote children's learning and development. This begins with ensuring students will be safe and secure, comfortable, trusted and competent to participate. This can be done by providing equipment that is safe and regularly checked, rooms that are clean and tidy, have order and well presented with children's own artwork, inclusive and respectful environments that respect all that enter, child-sized furniture to allow for easy access and movement by children, natural and creative resources that are easily accessible to children, engage and encourage participation through the environment. This will enable a sense of belonging and being in the environment, promoting children's competencies and skills and abilities. Principle 3. Children learn best when they are able to explore in their decision-making process. When teachers use their teaching pedagogies to create rich educational experiences that engage and spark students' interest through the way they plan, interact, monitor, assess, and reflect, will promote children's thinking skills, enabling children to explore materials and ideas and assisting them to make sense of their own worlds. Actively engaging children in the decision-making process allows students to explore ways to respond to different ideas. Children have all different views of how they see things, and sharing these ideas will contribute to how teachers can co-construct experiences with students to effectively support and extend learning. Jean Piaget proposed that children must construct their own knowledge and build knowledge through experiences. These experiences will now enable children to create schemas that lead to learning. Components to Piaget's cognitive theory are schemas that are the building blocks of knowledge. The adaptation process is where children are able to transition from one stage to the next. That, according to Piaget, reflects the increasing sophistication of children's thought. Each child passes through these stages in order. And as you can see on the slide is an example of the adaptation process, starting with assimilation, which is children using existing schemas to deal with new objects and experiences. The equilibrium stage is when a child is able to handle the new information without getting frustrated. This drives the learning process. And then accommodation is when existing schemas doesn't work and the children need to change to deal with new objects and experiences. And it's a cycle. Also, according to Jerome Bruner, inquiry-based learning takes place in problem-solving situations where children use their prior knowledges and experiences to discover and explore facts and new truths to be learned. If students are engaged in the decision-making process, they will be more willing to show interest and more likely to remember the concepts and ideas. How does Principle 3 link to my metaphor? In football, players need to begin with the basics. You can't expect a player to run on the field and automatically know what to do. Players transition through stages as they attempt and learn new skills through trial and error and plenty of practice. Players work together with the coach and other players to make decisions on which would work best in the situations. This can be the same for a child. Children need to be involved in the learning process, which means including them in the decision-making to build on their prior knowledges and interests. By engaging children to participate will promote children's sense of ownership of their own learning. Co-constructing experiences with children will engage and promote learning in ways that are relevant and meaningful to the children and their world. Implementing Principle 3. Through providing an environment where children are free and encouraged to be self-directed learners, where they use their ideas and knowledge to co-construct experiences with the teacher and peers to foster understanding and meaning of the experiences. Encourage children to ask questions and inquire, and as they engage through experiences. Teachers who use guided questions to spark thinking in children will enhance learning and development. And build on children's prior knowledge experiences using interest and ideas. Encourage cooperative and collaborative learning between peers and adults. And engage children in play through real-life experiences. Also allowing time for reflection on what they've actually learned. Principle 4. Children learn best when teachers build positive, inclusive partnerships. Teachers who respect, recognise and appreciate children's cultural diversities, home lives and family structures are able to create dynamic environments where they are continually working to build inclusive partnerships. By creating these inclusive partnerships, enhances children's well-being and builds enthusiasm for learning, closing the gap between the school and the home environment. With support from both school and home environments, children feel more confident and have a sense of trust to participate in different experiences. They feel valued and respected. Teachers build connections to children's cultures and communities, create welcoming environments for all, communicate openly using formal and informal methods, maintain a shared focus that is to enhance children's learning, provide learning experiences that connect with family cultures. Vygotsky emphasized the environment in which children grow up will influence how and what they think about. Hence, developing partnerships with families is important in creating an inclusive environment. Vygotsky believed cognitive functions are affected by beliefs and values of the person, therefore are socioculturally determined, and these vary from culture to culture. Vygotsky emphasized the importance of culture in the cognitive development. Social interaction has the fundamental role in the development of cognition. Learning and the social context were interdependent. How does Principle 4 link to my metaphor? A player brings with them a range of skills and disposition who assist them to become the player they are. The player brings their culture, beliefs, language, and knowledge to the game. Each player is different, and by creating a positive, inclusive environment with their teammates, will the team be able to create positive outcomes as a team. A teacher can do the same for a child by understanding and respecting what, who, and what the child brings with them into the classroom. The teacher will be able to create and establish respectful and diverse learning environments for all. A teacher that values beliefs and cultures by creating inclusive environments enable children to feel that their culture is welcomed and appreciated, enhancing the children's sense of identity and enhancing learning. Implementing Principle 4. Teachers who know their students and understand their learnings can value and create positive inclusive environments to establish positive partnerships, working with families, colleagues and community sectors to promote cultural beliefs in their classroom. This assists children's understanding of their world, in part from the values and beliefs of the adults and other children in their lives. Exposes students and teachers to different cultures and diversities. Teachers that promote the sharing of one another's ideas and viewpoints assist with introducing new ways of thinking and problem solving to children. Working together with families, teachers and parents can scaffold learning to improve learning outcomes for students. Principle 5. Children learn best when their abilities and needs are recognized and challenged in differentiated learning environments. This can be done by teachers who create a team approach for meeting the diverse needs of children by providing tailored support where required, by using community groups such as specialists like speech therapists, occupational therapists, and teachers' aides in the classrooms, targeting students' learning styles, interests, and needs. Teachers constantly reviewing the environment and modify the physical learning space to accommodate the learning needs of the students. For example, the classroom rules, furniture arrangements, and lighting. Programs that are delivered using different means, using varying levels of difficulty to cater for the differing student needs. Providing hands-on support for students depending on task. Develop lessons to cater for the auditory, visually, and kinesthetic learners, and use more flexible groups according to content, ability, and interest. A theorist that supports Principle 5 is Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. Gardner proposed that there are 8 different intelligences and that each person possesses different kinds of mind. Therefore, learn, remember, and perform and understand in different ways. Each person learns in a different learning style, and as teachers we need to appreciate the different styles and offer support and reinforcement in the classroom. As you can see on the slide, the multiple intelligence chart and how they are broken into the different intelligences. Teachers, by using the multiple intelligence chart, can create and cater lessons for children which reflect the learning styles and preferences to match their needs. How does Principle 5 link to my metaphor? In football, each player has their own skills and abilities, and coaches need to know these to be able to provide coaching according to their skills and levels. For example, goalkeeper coaching is different to a field player coaching. Therefore, the instructions and drills change according to styles. Also, training sessions are adapted to keep them interesting, but to provide challenge to the players. This is the same for teachers. Teachers need to know their students to cater for their learning needs. By providing different learning styles to deliver the content, to meet the individual student's needs. This can be done by using different means. For example, visually, auditory and hands-on experiences, just to name a few. Implementing Principle 5 in the classroom. Teachers need to know their students, collaborating with families and colleagues about learning histories of students. Lessons are delivered in a variety of ways. Some examples are using music, visual aids, art, cooperative learning, role play and multimedia. Environments that are set up to cater for the different learning styles and abilities will provide opportunities for students to participate in differentiated learning experiences. An example of this is seen on the slide. Provide learning programs targeting students' learning styles and interests and needs by using explicit instructions. Teachers can work together with students to co-construct and design learning goals, set clear guidelines, and enabling students to be able to demonstrate what they have learned in different ways by using a variety of modified assessments. I believe that by using these principles and pedagogies, I will enhance and enable best practice for student learning. Children will be engaged for maximum positive participation in experiences and the environment, therefore enhancing and empowering with knowledge, skills and confidence that will motivate and provide a foundation for future learning. Thank you, and I hope you've enjoyed this presentation.